A very good evening and welcome to the news tonight, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. High-stakes battle for Gujarat Rajya Sabha seats take place tomorrow. BJP and Congress hold crucial meetings with party MLAs and senior leaders in the state. Karnataka Energy Minister D.K. Shivakumar appears before the Income Tax Department for questioning. Officials claim they seized cash and jewellery worth over 15 crore rupees from him. Australia, Japan and United States urge Southeast Asian nations and China to ensure that South China Sea Code of Conduct will be legally binding. All three oppose coercive unilateral action in the region. And Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro pledges to impose maximum penalty on anti-government fighters who attacked an army base on Sunday. Claims that troops killed 2 of the 20 intruders who wanted to spark military uprising in the city of Valencia. Our top focus on Gujarat, where all 44 Congress MLAs who were lodged at a Bengaluru resort for 9 days returned on Monday, only to be taken to another resort in Anand in Gujarat. The fate of senior Congress leader Ahmed Patel will be decided tomorrow in the Rajya Sabha polls. Here's a look at all the developments. It's a high-stake battle in Gujarat, with BJP chief Amit Shah and Congress stalwart Ahmed Patel contesting the Rajya Sabha election on Tuesday. And battle lines have been drawn, with no one leaving any stones unturned. Amit Shah is holding meetings with party MLAs and senior leaders in the state capital Gandhinagar, while Congress heavyweight Ahmed Patel is meeting with his party MLAs at a resort in Anand, about 76 kilometers away. This is where Congress's 44 MLAs have been whisked away after returning from Bengaluru, where they were camping for the past 9 days.
મને મારા ધારાસભ્યો પર સંપૂર્ણપણે વિશ્વાસ છે અને ચોક્કસપણે પરિણામ ખૂબ જ સારું આવશે અને અમારા પક્ષમાં આવશે.
Congress has MLAs to the Bengaluru resort to prevent any more defections after 6 MLAs quit the party following a rebellion by veteran leader Shankar Singh Waghela, taking the Congress's tally in the House from 57 to 51 in the 182-member House.
पूरे गुजरात में जो कांग्रेस के विधायक है उनको दबाया जाता है, डराया जाता है और खरीद फरोख्त की राजनीति होती है. उसकी वजह से लोकशाही की रक्षा के लिए पूरे कांग्रेस के 44 एमएलएज एकजुट होके गुजरात से बाहर गए थे और आज गुजरात में वापस आए हैं.
The BJP, though, has rubbished the Congress's allegation that it is coercing and attempting to bribe the opposition party's MLAs.
वो तो बीजेपी को बदनाम करने के लिए बात कर रहे हैं. पहले तो उनके एमएलए उनके बस में नहीं है, इसलिए तो उन्होंने रिसोर्ट में रखने पड़ा 10 दिन तक. इस बार यहाँ गुजरात में पूर्व और बाढ़ग्रस्त लोगों यहाँ दुखी हो रहे थे और उनके एमएलए बेंगलुरु में मजा कर रहे थे.
For the 3 Rajya Sabha seats falling vacant in Gujarat, the BJP has fielded Party National President Amit Shah, Union Minister and sitting Rajya Sabha MP Smriti Irani and former Congress MLA Balwant Singh Rajput, who joined the BJP a week ago. While the numbers in the BJP-ruled Gujarat Assembly seems tilted in favour of Amit Shah and Smriti Irani, Patel's candidature for the 3rd seat too has received a shot in the arm. Reports claim 2 NCP MLAs will support him, along with 1 from the JDU and 1 from GPP. To win, a candidate has to garner 1/4 of the total number of votes plus 1 to get elected. This would mean a contestant has to muster 45 votes in the Gujarat Assembly. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Karnataka Energy Minister D.K. Shivakumar appeared before the Income Tax Department in Bengaluru for questioning. As many as 66 of Shivakumar's properties across the country were raided last week in connection with the case of alleged tax evasion. The IT officials claim they seized cash and jewellery worth over 15 crore rupees. Opposition parties accuse BJP of facilitating the raids against Shivakumar ahead of the Gujarat Rajya Sabha polls.
See, they have been summoned us on what statement we have given earlier. They want us to confirm. I have confirmed whatever statement I have given. They were very happy. I am happy. So they have taken care of very well. I don't want to speak on this at present now. Politics is been already discussed. You people have discussed, various others have discussed. I don't want to discuss politics.
And now to a special report. India's sex ratio at birth has declined even as per capita income has increased nearly 10 times over the last 65 years. The consumption of spurious medicines by couples in the quest for a male child is on the rise, and the use of such medicines is leading to defective genitals in children. Kriti Mishra brings us these details.
Couples desiring a male child are often caught in a trap, buying spurious drug preparations that cause stillbirths and congenital defects among children. These drugs are usually sold by underground networks and even online shops that promote such illegal sex selection drugs.
Some medicine was there in which it was written कि शर्तिया आपको लड़का ही पैदा होगा. Nobody can guarantee this thing, but it is coming in the paper. And second thing comes, how a people can give those medicines in the market without the approval of the drug controller of India.
A report points out that 0.5% mothers use these preparations to conceive a male child. If the first child is a girl, the proportion of mothers who use these sex selection drugs increases to 10%. For couples with 2 daughters, it increases to a whopping 40%. Pregnant women who use these drugs run a 3-fold risk of giving birth to a child with congenital defects compared to women who do not consume them. And of the 100 babies born with genital deformity, only 3 are due to natural disorders, while the rest are due to the use of medicines to ensure the birth of a male child. The Rajya Sabha also expressed concern over this issue. BJP MP Vinay P. Sahasrabudhe asserted that children born with ambiguous genitals after the consumption of these drugs are often abandoned or given to the transgender community.
First and foremost required is a very massive campaign of public awakening. Because what happens is that in the quest of male child, people are in a way induced to consume certain drugs, which are medically not established, clinically not proven, and even then they consume those drugs, and those drugs create a havoc and with the child who is still in the womb. And thereafter what happens is that it distorts the natural process of formulating his gender, and therefore you get kids with suspicious or ambiguous gender.
Sex selection and female feticide has given India one of the world's most skewed sex ratios. The World Bank says that by 2031, India will have 936 females per 1,000 males, which is lower than 1951 sex ratio of 946 females per 1,000 males. The government has implemented regulations to prevent female feticide, but stronger implementation is needed to curb the use of sex selection drugs. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to more news now. In all luxury cars and SUVs that had become cheaper after the rollout of GST on the 1st of July will now cost more. The GST Council has approved a proposal to hike cess on these cars to 25% from the current 15%. Under the new GST regime, cars attract the top tax rate of 28%. On top of this, a cess of 1 to 15% is levied on them to create a corpus to compensate states for the loss of revenue from GST implementation. In a statement, the Finance Ministry said that after introduction of GST, the total tax on motor vehicles has come down vis-a-vis the total incidence in pre-GST regime. The decision on when to raise the actual cess leviable on the same will be taken by the GST Council in due course. The increase in compensation cess will require amendment to the schedule to Section 8 of the GST Compensation to a State Act 2017. We'll follow up on that. Meanwhile, amid the ongoing rift between India and China, a senior colonel of the People's Liberation Army has asked the Indian Army to withdraw from the Chinese territory to avoid confrontation. Colonel Li Li, in fact, claimed that Indian troops had invaded Chinese territory. He said, as a soldier, he will try his best to protect territorial integrity. Responding to the questions on the present impasse, Li said the Chinese response will entirely depend on the action from the Indian side. He also added that they will follow the orders of the ruling Communist Party of China and the Central Military Commission. India and China have been locked in a standoff in Doklam since June 16th after Chinese troops began constructing a road near the Bhutan Tri-Junction. National Conference leader Farooq Abdullah on Monday warned of an uprising if Article 35A of the Constitution was abrogated. A fresh clamour has been brewing on the abrogation of Article 35A in the state after an NGO recently filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court, but the central government has not yet filed a counter affidavit to it. The National Conference called for a meeting of opposition parties to discuss the sensitive issue. Abdullah said that the opposition parties were united on the issue and would make people aware of the fallout if the article is done away with. He also added that Article 35A was for protecting the people of the state, and its abrogation would have adverse effects in all three regions of the state, whether it's Jammu, Kashmir or Ladakh. Article 35A empowers the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly to define the state's permanent residents and their privileges.
ये सारी रियासत को इफेक्ट करने वाला है, जम्मू, कश्मीर और लद्दाख। इसलिए बहुत जरूरी है कि लोग इसको समझ सकें कि हम 35 को एब्रोगेट करने के लिए क्यों खिलाफ हैं, इसको हटाने के लिए क्यों खिलाफ हैं, क्योंकि यह हमारी बुनियादी चीज को हटाना चाहता है। When it will come to that decision, you will see this mass rising. Don't forget when that Amarnath Yatra thing happened. Overnight people rose. 35A. So 35A will be far greater revolt that I wonder whether they'll be able to hold that.
Meanwhile, the Indian Army foiled a major infiltration bid in the Machil sector of Jammu and Kashmir on Monday. 5 terrorists were killed as the army foiled their bid. 5 weapons were also recovered from them. The identity and affiliation of the terrorists is not known yet. Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari has stressed on tolerance to become an essential national virtue to promote harmony transcending sectional diversities. Delivering the 25th National Law School of India convocation address in Bengaluru, Vice President Ansari said that justice, equality, brotherhood and freedom is the essence of a strong democracy. He also added that communal harmony and brotherhood are the identity of the country. He also expressed concern over increasing hyper-nationalism. He said that principles evolved by political parties based on religion amount to recognizing religion as a part of the political governance violates the basic features of the Constitution. He presented medals to the toppers in various law programs. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Governor V.R. Vala and Chief Justice of India, J.S. Kehar, were also present on the occasion.
Modern democracy offers the prospect of the most inclusive politics of human history. By the same logic, there is a thrust for exclusion that is a byproduct of the need for cohesion in democratic society. The relationship between identity and inequality lies at the heart of secularism and democracy in India. The challenge today, then, is to reiterate and rejuvenate secularism's basic principles: equality, freedom of religion, and tolerance. Do we go about creating conditions and space for a more comprehensive realization of the twin objectives of pluralism and secularism, and in weaving it into the fabric of a comprehensive actualization of the democratic objectives set forth in the Constitution?
And now let's take you through some more national news updates in Nationwide. The Bombay High Court has said no to issuing directions on age and height restrictions for Dahi Handi celebrations. It accepted the state government's statement that children below 14 years will not be allowed to participate and said that it is for the state government to enact legislation in that respect. Kerala High Court ordered BCCI to lift the lifetime ban on former cricketer S. Sreesanth in the wake of the 2013 IPL spot-fixing scandal. The BCCI had informed Sreesanth of its decision in a letter, which led to Sreesanth challenging the life ban decision. However, the BCCI had refused to alter its disciplinary decision even after the verdict. Activist Medha Patkar, who's been on an indefinite fast for the past 12 days, was forcibly lifted from the dharna site in Chikalda in Madhya Pradesh. Along with her, 5 other fasting protesters were also arrested. There are 6 others who are continuing their fast at the moment. Narmada Bachao Andolan members strongly condemned the police action and resolved that the agitation would continue. The 40-day annual pilgrimage to the Amarnath Shrine in South Kashmir Himalayas ended today, with 2.6 lakh pilgrims offering prayers this year, despite a terror attack on a bus that left 8 devotees dead. The pilgrimage concludes every year on the festival of Raksha Bandhan. This year's figure of visitors to the shrine is the second lowest in the past 14 years. Last year, only 2.2 lakh pilgrims visited the cave shrine due to the summer unrest. Congress MLAs disrupted proceedings of the Kerala Assembly today over rising political violence in the state involving the ruling CPIM as well as the BJP and RSS. The Speaker adjourned the opening day of the session soon after question hour as Congress members reached the House with banners to highlight the ongoing violent clashes in the state. With a quick break here, up next we'll get you the international news.
Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been sites of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favourite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award. Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
This is Kibutu in Arunachal Pradesh, East Point East on the map of India. Kibutu is dangerously close to the Chinese pressure point. We see firsthand and unseen areas of sand dunes and see how BSF is guarding this difficult territory along the Indo-Pak borderline. We are now slowly entering into the interior-most parts of the Sir Creek area. Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force justifies each word of this saying.
Watch
super exclusive episodes of National Security Series only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Let's get to international news now. And on the final day of the ASEAN summit meet, in fact, in Manila, the participating countries discussed North Korea's nuclear missile program and other issues concerning regional security. Leaders urged the international community to isolate North Korea for its provocative actions. They also asked China and ASEAN to make the Code of Conduct on South China Sea legally binding. The code framework is an outline for China and ASEAN on a formal agreement which could start later this year.
Australia, Japan and the United States on Monday urged Southeast Asia and China to ensure that the South China Sea Code of Conduct that they have committed to draw up will be legally binding. In a joint statement at the end of a meeting of their foreign ministers on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit, the three countries reiterated that they strongly oppose coercive unilateral actions in the South China Sea. They also urged claimants to refrain from land reclamation, construction of outposts and militarization of disputed features. Representatives of the three countries also urged the international community to pressure North Korea to abandon its provocative path and apply additional diplomatic and economic measures on Pyongyang over its missile tests.
Well, the best signal that North Korea could give us that they're prepared to talk would be to stop these missile launches. We've not had an extended period of time where they have not taken some type of provocative action by launching ballistic missiles. So I think that would be the first and strongest signal they could send to us, is just stop these missile launches. Obviously, we have other means of communication open to them to certainly hear from them if they have a desire to want to talk.
The ASEAN chair also conveyed regional security concerns to North Korea's foreign minister. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has vowed that a band of anti-government fighters who attacked an army base in the country will get the maximum penalty as his administration roots out his enemies. Troops killed 2 of the 20 intruders who slipped into the Paranaque early on Sunday. Their intent was to foment a military uprising. One of the invaders was injured, 7 captured, and 10 got away. The attack came as Venezuela's controversial Constitutional Assembly gets down to work. It has already signaled in its initial decrees that delegates will target Maduro's foes, as warned. The Constitutional Assembly is expected to meet again on Tuesday, even as lawmakers in the opposition-controlled National Assembly meet for a session later on Monday. Leaders of the opposition groups have called for renewed protests on Monday.
Ya se ha abierto el juicio y yo pido la máxima pena para todos aquellos complotados de este ataque terrorista. La máxima pena. Esa factura se pagó desde Miami y desde Colombia. Ahí mismo salió el Marco Rubio a decir que había un alzamiento militar en Venezuela y apoyarlo.
And here are more international news updates in Global Buzz. North Korea has defended its nuclear missile program and condemned the new UNSC sanctions imposed on Saturday. The sanctions could slash North Korea's $3 billion annual export revenue by a third. Reacting to the developments, U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said that parties involved in tensions on the Korean peninsula can have a dialogue only when conditions are right. But China supported active dialogue between the North and South Korea leadership. Over 180 sub-Saharan migrants crossed into Spain from Morocco in the early hours of Monday after running through a border gate into the enclave of Ceuta, surprising Moroccan and Spanish security forces. The Red Cross said that it had assisted 186 people following the Monday morning rush across the border. Once inside Spain's enclaves, migrants are usually taken to temporary shelters and later moved to the Spanish mainland or returned to their country of origin. A small fire broke out in a Dubai hotel on Monday, forcing guests and staff to leave. This was the third such blaze in the United Arab Emirates tourism and trade hub in less than a week. Several fire engines and an ambulance were deployed at the Movenpick Hotel near the Marina district as scores of people gathered outside. The series of fires in tall buildings in the UAE has revived questions about the safety of cladding materials used in the Gulf region and beyond. And that's all we could pack in on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.